last time on the Privateer.
Oh yeah, he's got it. He's still got it.
So it's hard, like what's the perfect setup? And everybody thinks there is a perfect setup. Yeah. You know, but it's really kind of what you've been running and adapting your style to it. It's cool that you put yourself in this position to show the world, right?
Cheers, yeah.
It's like a little bit of stress, right?
Yeah, it's a bit. It's a good social experiment.
Yeah, right?
We'll see.
This is Adam. Adam was a privateer working a 9-to-5 job to finance his passion for racing bikes. Last year, parts and training helped him get way faster, but success doesn't happen overnight. This year, his program has been turned up to 11 with full factory support. Will he be able to break into the pro ranks? We're about to find out. Being a professional rider isn't just about race results. Now that the privateer is getting pro-level support, maintaining relationships with his sponsors is important to a successful racing career. After a disappointing result at the Sea Otter Enduro, Adam is feeling the pressure to train and ride as much as possible. However, he is also scheduled to meet some of his sponsors in the US. Johan Borelli drops by to offer some insight about the other responsibilities of being a pro rider.
What do you do to keep your sponsors happy aside from riding?
Riding is a kind of part of our job, no?
Yeah.
Like it's the main part.
Yeah.
So if they are not happy with just riding, they off. Okay, we're gonna start to be serious. Well, you're gonna meet people, and that I think it's actually pretty good because they're gonna put a face associated to a name. Like if you just sign a contract and then after, boom, you disappear, then the next year they're gonna say, well, I don't really like to work with this guy. Yeah. But sometimes, you know, we are so busy, with training and traveling and racing and blah blah blah, that it's hard to make the time to do all that. Especially if you do video content and all this kind of stuff that we talked about, then it's pretty hard. And they know that you're busy working for them, so they don't. But if they ask and they say, look, we have this event at our office and we want you to come. Yeah, do you have no race at this time? We pay for everything. Then yeah, you say yes.
Adam's first stop is Orange County, California, to check out Fox headquarters and shake hands with some of the people responsible for supporting him this season.
Hey, I'm Adam.
Adam, Dave, pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to Fox.
Thanks.
Let's take you around and show you what the brand is all about. A lot of really iconic bikes here. This is the bike that Travis Pastrana actually jumped out of the stadium in San Francisco and landed in the San Francisco Bay at the X Games during one of the competitions there. So pretty legendary bike there. A lot more legendary bikes that you see over here. This is Ryan Dungey's bike, one of his championship seasons. Jeff Emmig's bike, and more of the classic bikes down there.
I think today we're just going to fit you in the new Rampage Pro Carbon. Okay. So, you know, the first good guideline is just to take a measurement of your head circumference. You definitely look like you have a narrow head.
Yeah.
And slightly longer.
Yeah. But that's
secure. I think that's more what you want.
Yeah, for sure, mediums.
Like when Loic comes in, he's got the helmet on. Oh yeah, dude. And he's like, so everybody's got like their own way of testing things. You know what I mean? Like when Nico Mullally was here, it was just like, oh, okay, that's good. But then like Loic's like for a while.
Maybe that's a better test.
Typically, like when we get athletes, they'll come in and they'll sit with us, just like you're sitting with me. Yeah. We'll go through and like we'll actually sit down and come up with ideas, like one by one on each style and how they really want to make kits that feel special and have a personal touch to them for race or whatever reason, you can look at this and see what we came up with for Nico. This version is actually just first version comp ideas, so this was the one that we're going to go into a little bit deeper, a tie back to Chris Kavorick's kit. Because Nico's on Intense and it's Fox for this year, we're going to go with major tie back and something really cool for him.
So Adam doesn't know it yet, but we're actually building in some custom gear. So he knows he's getting set up with gear today, but he doesn't know that Ugo and the team are actually putting together some custom gear sets for him. So we'll show him what it's going to look like. Privateer, Adam Price. He'll be out there looking good on the trails. All right, so we're going to take you back to the sewing room right now. This is a unique thing that we have here at Fox. We can actually sew up samples, show up some different kits for athletes to test, and then we also modify products for athletes who need them to a specific size during the season. So we've got a couple of projects that we're working on right now, and this is one special little one.
Oh, sick. That's mine.
That's for you.
No way.
And these ones. What do you think?
That looks amazing.
This one's white. Nice. And went white on that one too.
All different colours. That's sick. I'm glad you put my actual name on it. Thanks a lot, guys.
You owe $0.
Thank you. So kind of you. Well, that's a stunning deal. Definitely coming here again.
Adam's next stop is Tempe, Arizona to visit Pivot Bikes and meet with CEO Chris Kokalis.
Hey everyone. How you doing?
Good. Hey.
Good to see you. Welcome to Pivot. So at the beginning of the production line, we cut the brakes to length. We put all the graphics on the suspension. If the bike's got carbon wheels, they'll put the graphics on the carbon wheels. Okay. And they'll also install the tires and cassettes in this area as well. And then down here, they take the frames, they install the suspension, put the bottom brackets in, put the headsets in, and then they come on down to this area. And this is where the guys really finish the complete bike assembly on the bike. So our new Mach 4 SL is getting done here. And the guys are actually, just like your Mach 5.5, they're getting all the live wiring on the inside of the bike. That's really a big deal on the new Mach 4 SL and what it brings to the cross-country racer. And then at this point, if it's a bike going to a dealer, it's not a complete assembly, so they'll finish installing the rest of the stuff that needs to go on the bike, and then the bike will get packaged from here. If it's a bike, some of them for media or for some other uses will get finished 100%. And that's what's happening down here.
Perfect.
This is our whole prototype R&D area. Mentioned up in engineering that once we do the basic design, all the suspension bikes, we build in aluminum first. And this is where all that happens. And then the 3D printing stuff, right now it's just printing a pivot bird. And then when we're doing, like you saw front frame sections, it's pretty easy to do something like this, and we don't have to, we can go a little bit faster on the print, so it's a little bit rougher because we're not really after surface finish. One of the neat things we do in the prototyping of the aluminum bikes that really isn't transferable to aluminum frame production is Kevin will do FEA analysis on the parts and basically try and get the weight and the stiffness similar to what the carbon structure will be. So we'll machine these really light, big, hollow parts, which takes an enormous amount of time to machine, but they're just ultra light, and we can build these big box sections. For example, when we did the 27.5 downhill frames, the frame Bernard raced for a season only weighed 30 grams more than what his carbon bike weighed when it came out. There's always going to be some differences between carbon and aluminum, but when we do it this way, we've got a really strong idea of what the bike's really going to be when we get into carbon. This is our original first carbon fiber bike that we built. It's the original Mach 5.7. molds have actually gotten more advanced since this time, but the technology is basically similar in that there's a lot of pieces and parts, basically a lot of slides as we call them.
How much would one of these cost?
One of them, basically if you're doing a whole project all in, forgings, plastic injection molding parts, all the tooling that needs to happen on this level of bike, you could be in for 5 sizes into about 200 grand worth of tooling. So over here is your bike.
Funny bike. That looks amazing.
So the live valve on the Fox, basically it's an on-off system that electronically adjusts the suspension for the bump force.
Wow, that looks awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to give it a go. Let's go. Cheers.
Next time on The Privateer.
We're out here doing a corner clinic.